you, Nick? How's it going?
Pretty good. It's going good, Wes. We're staying busy.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Got some rain. Are we out of the drought yet?
We're not out of the drought, but we got a nice slug. We got a nice slug of water. I think here on Middle Road, it was very variable around town as I was talking to people, even as all these storms have been so variable. But right here, we had over 3 inches of rain in a few hours. So that's a good slug. Of course, then it was followed up almost immediately by a heat wave.
Heat wave, yep.
Heat wave. So that combination really has a profound effect on plants on the farm. So you give them a massive dose of water and then a massive amount of heat can really push plants along in terms of maturity pretty quickly. For better or for worse.
So we're going to see some significant growth today over the last time.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. It's mid-July. The plants really start taking off now. There's plenty of heat in the soil, and everybody's been fertilized well, and everything happens fast enough. There's more and more material to be harvested each week, and there'll be more and more food for you to eat each week.
Excellent. Let's go see.
Let's take a look around.
Excellent.
We're at like peak blueberries now. It's third week in July, so this is when we expect this to happen, and it's exactly what right on cue. The earlier varieties have come in, and now the middle varieties are maturing rapidly as some of the later varieties. We have 64 plants in this block, and they're set up so that some perform early, some produce middle, some produce late. I've seen some insect damage, nothing bad. There's always going to be insects, you would think. Some disease, mostly mummyberry, which is the most common disease on blueberries in New Hampshire now. One of the things I do right now is when I go through here, after our harvest, after we pick, I go through with my pruner and I look for what we call strikes. And that's areas on the bushes where you can see the start of a new infection. Where some funguses have landed on it and some leaves have turned like they're burnt, and we call it like a shoot blight, a shoot strike, and you can tell that's a shoot tip, fungal infection, without getting into which species it is. You look for these anomalous stems, they're easy to detect, and you cut them out with a clean pair of pruning shears, and you keep it sterilized like you're doing surgery. And you cut the tip, you cut the disease part out, and then a lot more, like at least that length more, to make sure you get the whole of the disease. And then don't put that in your compost, throw that away. And that's a good way of getting a lot of it out, because you're removing a lot of the ability of the disease to spread.
Can you show us what that looks like?
I can show you what that looks like, yep. You don't have to be a plant biologist or a farmer to look at this and know there's something wrong with this blueberry right here. That is not healthy. That's certainly not healthy. That's dead. That's a fungal infection. It's a shoot blight. These are shoots. Tip blight. Doesn't matter which organism is doing it. You know that's a disease. That's a fungal disease. These can be mitigated. These can be prevented by using lots of sprays. You can put preventive sprays on and prevent things like this. There's different types of sprays, organically approved, conventional sprays. If you use no sprays, and these were not sprayed, sometimes you'll see things like this. What I like to do when I see this, what I'll do, come here, I just remove this. This is a new young shoe. See how it's brand new down here? This would have been a nice productive shoe. So I'm sacrificing this though. I'm gonna take that whole thing out because she'll make more. Matter of fact, here's one right here. This one doesn't have a blight on it. Look, here's one deep in here that does. So these are attempts, things called canes. So this blueberry's throwing up these canes. A few of them got attacked by that fungus with these guys. But if I come through, I'm just taking them right out at the ground. And now, I'm not so sad that the plant got that disease. I avoided the spraying, and I just tell them, this is how I'm going to control it. I'm going to come through and cut it out.
Nice.
Yep. Look in here. Look at this weed out of here. Oh, get out of there. So, onions, they're bulbing up. Nice solid top. Photosynthesis occurring, capturing that light, making the carbohydrates, building up that bulb. The black plastic has kept the weeds off of them, even as the weeds, intrude between the rows. We'll have to deal with them again. But the onions have been safe from them, and we've been able to fertilize them through the drought, and they're here. So it won't be long. Now what you do is just wait on your onions. The onions will tell you when they're ready. It's one of the crops that's very definitive about when it's done. There's no guesswork. This top will fall down. It's like a flag. Boom. Top flag goes over, onions ready. There's really no further thinking about it. You pull them out, dry them a little bit, eat them. This one here is he's a little damaged. a nice little baby right here. Very sweet and mild. These white onions.
Mmm.
This we've been getting your where we got those big giant cauliflower heads from. It got hot and they all just exploded in size at the same time. It got really, really wet. Remember, we got 3 inches of rain, and then we had a heat wave, and they just exploded. They got giant, and they all came at the same time. So we have a whole lot of them for this week. The plants are a one and done. Once you make your head of cauliflower, they don't do any side shoots. They don't do anything like that. So the plant needs to be removed. They did their job. They're gone. As you can see, we rip them right out. Next, well, we have a few more to do. There was a few more I thought could size up a little bit more. This plastic, this white plastic, did its job. It kept the soil cool during that heat wave, 2 heat waves, enough that we got these really nice brassicas, which is a cold weather crop. But yet, you can look over here too. These cabbages will be coming out for next week, and they're enormous. They're enormous. Nice, tight, solid head. Minimal insect damage once you pull a few leaves off, considering that they're unsprayed. So we'll have that next time. Even with the plastic, some weeds find their way into the bed. These are the musk melons, and they're on that special infrared transmitting plastic, which creates the most heat. This is the most heat-loving plant on the farm. It's almost a semi-tropical type plant. It's been bred, though, this variety, to do better in these cold climates. It was bred by Professor Brent Loy at UNH to be a more cold, tolerant type of a plant, and to be able to ripen up its fruit quickly in a short amount of time, because we don't have a lot of time. How about a quick lesson on how corn works? If you remember, this is the tassel at the top, and this is the male part of this plant, and it produces pollen. This is a wind-pollinated plant. As it gets shaken by the wind, the pollen falls down to this part of the plant down here. This is the female part of the plant, and we see the silks. And this is going to be the part that's going to be the fruit. That's going to be your ear of corn. But we have to get the pollen from here down to here. Bees don't help, because these flower structures are not making any nectar, so bees are not attracted to this. So they're not going to carry the pollen from here to here. It's wind pollinated. It drops onto it, and then the pollen works its way down these tubes, little tubes, and every one of these is attached to one of the little kernels of corn. So as the pollen lands on it, all of these need to get some, so we can get down and distribute that. That's what this is. It's going to distribute the pollen to all the ears of the corn, and that way, because all of them have to be pollinated.
So those strings, are they?
They are the tubes that are going to carry the pollen to the ovary, and that's what the part of the plant that needs to be fertilized. And then what will you get? You'll get a fruit. And all the fruits, when you look at an ear of corn, Wes, each individual kernel, that's a fruit. Those are all fruits. They all need to be fertilized. And this is the system that the corn is using here. So we're about a third of the way through the harvest season. Quick update on the heart of the farm here, the compost pile. You can see we're filling it. We're filling it with nitrogen sources and with carbon sources. This is from the animals and their bedding. And we have here are the plants we just pulled. And we're adding that, so that's a nice nitrogen source. Do I worry about it being overrun by weeds? Not in the least. They're welcome being here. What I'm going to do is when I come with the tractor, they're just going to be rolled right into it, and then their mass will also increase. Will increase their biomass in the pile itself. Eventually, it'll all get cooked down. When I get the pile big and tall enough for the fall, it'll heat up and it will cook all of these. So we'll do that for now. We'll just keep filling it and piling it in, and then it's going to go down. And we're going to, like all season long, we've been able to pull so much out of the finished pile, and we'll be able to rejuvenate that pile. We fill that pile in the fall. So I'm in here hunting too, but I have a different quarry, and it's the hornworm. And they have the best, really amazing camouflage. But I found her, and I'm going to lift this leaf up. And I see, there she is. See that? Wow, and I even see another tiny one. This is great. After this, okay, so you can see that, right?
So you're just going to take it off?
I'm going to take this off. All right, and show you. See, there's the horn. There it is. She's already pretty big, so she's done a lot of eating.
But when they first hatch, they're this side. Check this out. Look right there. You see that?
It looks, what's sticking out there?
See, yeah, that white thing going this way, and with a black hornworm. That's the hornworm. That's this. That's the one that's going to be bigger than your thumb in about 3 weeks, 4 weeks, and will eat all your plants. So they eat also this. So she comes off too. But you can see it's pretty hard to find those, which is why often now, if you have a big commercial farm, you can't be out here forever picking these off, right? And still have your organic tomatoes. So they'll resort to using the spray, and the BT is the one to use. Conventional sprayers use it too because it's inexpensive and it works. There really is no need to use anything more toxic. It's fortunate in this case that the organic spray is the one that works the best, is the BT. There he is.
You have them for breakfast?
Do I? And I'm vegetarian.
Oh.
It's right where the water goes. He's a robber. He'll take the water. That's where we irrigate through, or fertigate. So we bury it. We bury the line. It's right down to where the tubers are being formed. We can put the water right where it's needed for the plant. The feeder roots are down there anyway. And so we've done our second mounding on the potatoes today. So we got a nice big mound, 2 big long rows, and healthy tops. And some healthy tops on the plants. And very little, this you can see as I tap these, you can see some white flies coming off them. I can see them. And I can see some leaf jumpers too. Down below there was also some Colorado potato beetle. So there's been a lot of insects on these. We did resort to spraying these tops because there was just so many. And down below, the entire plants were being eaten by the potato beetles. So we used Pyganic, which is the pyrethrum spray, again commonly used, made from chrysanthemum flowers, commonly used by people who are looking to use something that's the least toxic thing they can use that will still actually kill something. So we put those on. And I also put on a fungicide for them because we sprayed the peppers also with something called potassium bicarbonate. It's another organically approved material because we were having some disease on the peppers right away where we were pulling them. Generally when we see disease, we just pull the whole plant so it won't spread to avoid having a spray. But we wanted to keep these healthy, and just that one protectant spray should be enough to get them. We probably won't have to do it again. The heat, it was the heat, the intense wetness and then the heat made perfect conditions to spread a lot of diseases, fungal diseases and such. But we think that we've got them well under control using minimal intervention there with that potassium bicarbonate. And potassium bicarbonate is like an ingredient in some like toothpaste and things. So it's pretty non-toxic. Quick look over here was at the cucumbers and the work that my workers here did today. We used these clips and help the cucumber plant find this trellis. They tend to sometimes just want to run out and run sideways and run away from the trellis. That's not what we want. You get less disease if the plants go up because wind can dry the vine. Yeah. So they did a really nice artistic job and they got them up off, and now they're going to be able to help themselves because now that we've helped them find it, they have all these little filaments here too. These are little modified leaves. And they can just grab, and when they touch, they're going to wrap. Once you show it, put them on the trellis with these clips, now they can use their own materials to hang on to it. It's really nice. They look good, and there's a lot of them. Some of the vines are longer down back. There's some little tiny fruit here too, and they're just getting going. But so it looks good. Things are looking good for the cucumber crop. But yeah, it is about detail. Yeah, we try to pay great detail, integrated pest management. A lot of it is scouting, and I talk about what my work is about scouting, and they're very good at that, at finding things, seeing something out of place on a plant, or something not right with a plant. Is it deficient in some way? Does it need something? Is there a pest? And then we can get right on it right away. Yeah, pay attention to detail. We do a lot of that, and it's paying off again, and we have some really great crop over here again. That's going to be coming in, so we're excited about that.
So, something that I've been meaning to ask you for the last few sessions, and I keep forgetting. You are talking about your techniques of integrated pest management.
Yeah.
If somebody was watching this and they wanted to learn more about integrated pest management, what kind of resources, where might they go to learn more?
Go to any one of the university websites and think of cooperative extension. If you're familiar with cooperative extension, all these land grant colleges these colleges were originally made as agricultural schools, as UNH was, and that's part of their mission, is to reach out to the public in terms of lots of things, societal things, social issues, but also in terms of agriculture. And so you have an agricultural agent that you can, for no cost, that you can consult with for your own home garden. And they have lots of resources on pests. There's places to send soil samples, soil testing. There's lots of free services also, and just information. So you go to the UNH website, go to a cooperative extension, and go to their agricultural links. And but it's not just, I mean, by the way, it's not just confined to New England, Cornell, but any information they're looking for online about plants, I highly recommend that you go to a .edu site. Go to a school, go to a college, and look for their information. Go with the scientists.
I was just at the Cornell ornithology site, which is really a cool site. We've been seeing a lot of different species of birds.
Excellent, that's a good example.
Yeah. This has been great as usual.
Always fun.
It's really interesting to see the crops coming alive before our eyes, and great. I'll see you next time.
Right, thanks, Wes.
Thank you.
Thanks for coming by.
Hey, have a good one, everyone. See you. Bye.
I'm Diane Hall.
Hi.
Live about a mile from here over on South Road.
And did I understand this is your first year?
Yes.
Here? So how'd you hear about the Be Thankful Farm?
Actually, somehow on Facebook. I love it.
Oh, yeah?
We've been so happy with it. My husband and I, we like it because we're trying things we haven't tried before. Eating more vegetables, which we know is good for us. And it's just fun, you know, it's fresh and healthy. Now we've actually been trying out the fresh peppers with onions, which have been great. Let me see. The peas, we've been doing those a lot in salads, which I've never done. And we've never done mustard greens before, which we like. We put that in salads. We use that instead of lettuce on some of our sandwiches. And we've also sauteed it, but we actually kind of like it fresh better.
Excellent. Well, thank you very much.
You're welcome.